If you're a parent sitting at home watching this on TV, make your kids meatballs for dinner, because they love them. When I was a kid, I loved meatballs. I still love meatballs. I'm not allowed to make them so much anymore because my wife Sally doesn't enjoy them. So any chance I get, I make them. And do your kids a favour and make them some as well. They're beautiful. I just realised that might have sounded a bit pushy. If you don't want to make meatballs, don't make meatballs. But I'm going to show you a nice little meatball casserole. So beef mince first, we're going to make our meatballs. So I've got some beef mince, about 500 grams. And then I'm going to use the mince out of, or the mixture out of pork sausage. So squeeze the inside out of a pork sausage. This will give you the fat content that you need. It'll also give you some binding agents, but it will give you the pork, which is going to give you lots of flavour as well. Swim with that. Some mixed Italian herbs, so dried oregano, dried parsley, some thyme. Pop that in. A really big pinch of salt, because it will need that. Some parsley, about a cup, which I'm going to chop. I'm going to chop it reasonably fine. All right, there's our parsley. So in the end, it might even be a third of a cup. I'll grab our lemon. And what we're going to do is cook these in the pan, then take them out, and then we'll build a little sauce, pop them back in, and then we're going to put them into the oven and sort of oven roast them. So it's like a baked meatball dish. I'm going to serve it with some risoni, which is like Italy's pasta version of rice. So same sort of shape as rice, but it's a pasta. Mash everything together, and you'll be able to tell whether you need binding agent or not. Now, you'd rather not use egg or something like that as a binding agent. Salt and the protein in the meat should do the job for you, and you'll end up with a better texture in your meatball. So what you're looking for is that there should be, see the little strands of meat that are sort of starting to stick together? That means that the salt is bringing out enzymes in the meat, and they'll create our binding agent. That's all nicely mixed. So now I can start to form my meatballs. I've got a little cup of water here, so I can dip and then rub on my hands, and it'll make it easier to roll our meatballs that way. So they slide, moves around in your hand a lot better, and your hands will stay reasonably clean. You're looking at meatballs the size of a golf ball, a little bit bigger than a golf ball. My meatballs are rolled. I've got some oil in my pan, and my pan's nice and hot, so I can put my meatballs in now. I just want some colour on them, so I'm not cooking them all the way through, because remember, we're going to roast them in the oven. Once we've got some colour on all sides of the meatball, we'll take them out, and then we'll start to build our sauce. You can see on the bottom of the pan all of that yummy caramelly goodness, and that's why you want to take these out and keep cooking in the same pan, because you want to bring all that yumminess up. So 1 onion diced, pop that in. A couple of cloves of garlic diced, pop that in. Cook that down for a couple of minutes until it softens. Then I'm going to add in some spinach, and we'll sweat that off until it reduces in size down to about a quarter of what you put it in. 2 cups of stock in there, 2 tins of crushed tomatoes, and I want it to be quite wet. Throw some peas in now as well, and some of the risoni. So you can see the shape of it is very similar to what a rice grain is. So this takes 12 minutes to cook, so probably 15 minutes in the oven. So we've got about 15 minutes left. So I want to add in about a cup of our risoni in, and that's why I want the sauce to be quite wet, because it's going to, the pasta itself is going to soak up a lot of that excess moisture as it cooks. So I'll give that a stir. Make sure it's all mixed in. Our meatballs can go back in at this time. Got my oven on 180 degrees. So it'll take about 15 minutes to cook the meatballs through. And when that comes out of the oven while it's still nice and hot, we've got a big amount of grated Parmesan cheese, which we can sprinkle over the top, and then you can take it straight to the table. That was about 15 to 20 minutes in the oven. I've taken it out. You can see our sauce is thickened right up. Our risoni is cooked. We get some of this Parmesan sprinkle over the top, and then just a little squeeze, just to freshen it up. A little squeeze of lemon juice. And there we go. Meatballs done in a different way. I will admit I'm normally used to meatballs and spaghetti, but baked meatballs like this with the risoni is a nice little change